am 2/5 of my way through my third round of 75 hard. This is what I've been up to for the last 15 days. I'm going to do this video slightly different to my last update. Rather than going through every day, which did get quite repetitive when I watched it back when I was editing it together, I'm going to do an overview of each rule and tell you what I've been doing within that and how I'm getting on with it. A full breakdown of why I'm doing this is in my previous video. If you'd like a bit of an overview on that and I go into the rules of 75 hard in a lot more detail, please go back and watch that and then come back to this one. So let's get into it. So this is day 16 to day 30 of 75 hard. So one of the rules is that you have to take a progress picture every day. That's been going fine. I kind of do it when I'm getting ready in the morning so I don't forget. I've kind of just built it into that's what I do when I'm getting ready. I have been taking 2 progress pictures, not one, because I want to do one from the front and one from the side just so I can get a better comparison of how things are going, how my body's changing. I am starting to see changes in these already, which is really exciting. And if you've been here for a while, I did do a little bit of a weight loss series in the summer. So when you look at pictures from when I started that compared to where I am now, it is going really well. And I think I've lost maybe a stone in that time. Obviously there's Christmas been in the middle, so it did go up and then went back down again. But overall, over the last year, I'll put the graph on the screen. It is very much going down, which is really good. I'm really happy about that. Another rule of 75 hard is that you have to stick to a diet. So for my diet, I've picked a calorie deficit. So I have a set number of calories in the day that I can't go over. I do try to get close to it. Some days I'm a little bit under, some days I am quite close to it. Some days I hit it exactly. Just depends on what I'm eating that day, but we'll go into that a little bit more. So over the last 15 days, my most common breakfast has been a protein pot, sometimes with some fruit, sometimes on its own, just depends how hungry I've been on that day. I am trying to hit more protein while I'm doing this because it's easy to stay in a deficit but not eat the right foods. I'm trying to make sure that I am hitting that protein as well, just because of how much I'm exercising. Another meal that I've been eating a lot of is toast with honey for this 15 days. I think because work has been a little bit busier, so I do just eat breakfast at my desk. So when I come down to make a cup of coffee, it's really easy to just put some toast in the toaster, and I love toast with honey on. It's really nice. So I had both of those breakfasts 4 times during this period. Other things that I've been eating are a slice of toast with protein shake. I had scrambled egg on toast one day over the weekend. And I also had a corn sausage and egg wrap. I do tend to have breakfasts that take a little bit more making over the weekend, and I tend to eat it later, so I don't need as big of a lunch before my tea. So yeah, weekend breakfasts are often quite a bit different. I did buy some. So I used to live in Manchester, and there's a really good wholesalers in Stockport. So I went over to there while I was visiting my friend over in Manchester last week, and they'd had some big crates of grenade protein shakes. So there's 25 grams of protein, I think, in one of those. But the thing is with this warehouse, it's things that are close to the use by date. Most of them are all right if it goes over by a little bit, like crisps and stuff like that. It's kind of to stop food waste, but the date on these is the 7th of February, so I am just trying to get them in before they go too far out of date because my fridge is full of them. In terms of lunches, my most eaten meals over the last 15 days were a chicken pita pizza. I bought some of that in on one of our weekly food shops. I like having something where I can just have kind of the same thing every day and not really think about it. So I did have that 4 times until I ran out of the chicken. I also prepped a veggie curry with sweet potato, so I had that 4 times as well. Really low on the calories and packed full of veggies and really tasty. So I think it was a good choice for this week. Other things that I've had, so I did do a meal prep last time I'd spoke to you, and I made like a chicken sausage and bean thing. So I did have one of those left. So I had that at the beginning of this 15 days. I had an egg mayo sarnie one day, a corn sausage and egg wrap. I do like those, so I had one of those for my lunch one day. Protein noodles and pop chips. So I did buy some protein noodles from Aldi. I don't think I would get them again. They've got a funny texture, and I think it's because they're higher in protein. I don't know if they're made with I don't know if they must be made with something different than normal noodles, but it was really good to just have as like a quick grab. I think we'd been on a long walk that day, and it was nice to just, I got in and I was really hungry. It was a 40-minute drive, and then we did a 5-mile walk and did the 40-minute drive home. So by the time I got back, I was starving. So I just grabbed that. It was really nice to just have something that you can grab and eat straight away. I also had bagel with eggs for one lunch. And I made a cheese and onion pie with phyllo pastry. It's a pinch of nom recipe, so it's quite low on the calories. And I had a little bit of that left over. I made it for my boyfriend's mum. We all sat and had that one night, so I had that the following day for my dinner. I love leftovers. And the big one, I went to Wagamama. It's my friend's 40th birthday coming up. Well, it's been now. And she wanted to go out for food. So I was like, I'm doing 75 hard. I need something with the calories on the menu. And I picked something that was on the lower side, calories wise, on the menu. So I thought I wasn't going to get much food, but actually it was quite big and it was really tasty. It was the first time I've been to Wagamama's. I would go again. I don't know why I've never been. I don't know why it's taken us this long to go there. Moving on to our teas. So we are currently getting HelloFresh. So hold on, let's count. We had 8 HelloFresh meals during this 15-day period. So we get 4 meals a week. Comes on a Monday. So we tend to just have that Monday to Thursday, then have something different on the weekends, unless we've got something on where we're doing something different, like when I made the cheese and onion pie. So that's nice. Really good variety. I was worried because my boyfriend just ordered it. We didn't really talk about it. And at first I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this while counting my calories. Like, it's going to just absolutely throw us off track. But actually there is quite a lot of low calorie choices on there. So I try to get them under 800, but some of them have been slightly higher than that, but then I just account for that with the rest of my day. So that's worked really well. And they are really nice. And then we've got the recipe cards. So once we're not going to keep paying for it when it goes up to full price, we've got it on offer. But then we've got the cards for if we want to repeat it. So it's just nice to try new things rather than being in the same rotation of meals every week. So that's been going really well. We do like an Asda pizza. So we've had that 3 times in the last 15 days. So this is easy if we've been to the gym late and we don't have much time to prep tea, because I don't like going to bed really late because I start work at 7 in the morning. And it's a really nice pizza. And I know diets and pizzas don't usually mix, but I'm in a calorie deficit and I'm not cheating on this diet unless I go over my calories. Or if I save all my calories for one meal and just eat one meal a day, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not pulling that. But half of this pizza is like 570 calories, I want to say. So it's a really good option to have in. Chuck it in the oven, really tasty. Feels like you're having a treat, but it still fits in your calories, so it's perfect. One day we did have a McDonald's. He wanted to go for McDonald's, so I just got a chicken wrap, so managed to fit that in my calories as well. It's not quite the Big Mac that I would have liked, but the chicken wraps from there are all right and they're not bad on the calories either. One day we did have a cheesy bolognese like bake thing, so I did a big batch of bolognese a while ago, froze some, so we had some in the freezer to pull out. So I either have that with pasta, which we did one night, or do some potatoes in the air fryer, put the bolognese on top, then the cheese, and then bake it in the oven. And it's just so nice and not bad on calories. You're getting a load of veggies in there, so it's, yeah, a good choice to have. And then the cheese and onion pie that I made for my boyfriend and me and his mum, had that one night. But yeah, the bulk of my teas are coming from HelloFresh meals and I am thoroughly enjoying them. And I like how aesthetically pleasing they are on a plate. So they're great for these videos and for, like, you know, taking photos of your food like we all do, even though we never look at them ever again. In terms of snacks, so as I mentioned, I did go to that wholesalers. I'll put some clips on of the stuff that I bought because I got so much stuff. I spent £50, but I've got snacks to last us probably until May, so it's really good. So I've been having popcorn. I got a big box of popcorn from there, and I got some bags of little fun-sized Twixes, and they're 99 calories each. So if I've got the calories left at the end of the day, I like to have that with a cup of coffee. So moving on to workouts. So as part of 75 hard, you have to do 2 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside, the other can be indoors or outdoors. It's entirely up to you. So for my first exercise, every day I take the dog for a walk for 45 minutes on my lunch break. So that's an easy way to get it in. I'm obviously not finding it hard because the dog needs walking anyway. We did used to do like 2 30 to 40-minute walks, but now we'll just do a big 45-minute walk. Sometimes go out for a little one on a night, just depends. But that 45-minute outdoor workout is completely ticked off with walking the dog. So that kind of makes it a little bit easier for me, but it's getting more miles in and it's easy. It's not particularly hard to fit into my day. It's part of my routine anyway. In terms of my second workout, so I did 5 lower body sessions over the last 15 days. When I go to the gym, I've got like a rotation that I do. It has 3 lower body days on and 1 upper body day. Obviously, I'm not in the gym every day because I do some running and some other stuff. So every time I'm in the gym, I just alternate between one of those lower bodies and the upper body, and it's just kind of a cycle that I just move on to the next one every time I'm in the gym. So my 3 lower body workouts, I will put them up on screen, but I'm just going to quickly go through them. So the first one, which is the hardest one, has a Romanian deadlift with the barbell and then some Bulgarian split squats followed by some lunges. So there's only 3 movements in this 45-minute workout, but because you're doing kind of 2 lunge variations, that's like a lot more sets. So there's kind of like 3 on each leg for each one. So that's what, 12 sets. So that easily fills my 45 minutes. I also do a warm up on the treadmill for 5 minutes before I do any of these. My second lower body day is a base stance RDL. So it's a Romanian deadlift, but I do them with dumbbells, and you kind of stand different. So it works one leg. So I do 3 of those on each leg. I do sumo deadlifts, so I just use the little steps in the gym, have 1 on each foot, and then do sumo deadlifts with a kettlebell for those. And then I do some dumbbell lunges. And then my third lower body in my rotation are good mornings with the barbell. I'm not sure that I'm going to keep these in because I really like doing a leg press and I haven't got that in anywhere. And I don't know if you've ever done a good morning, but it feels, for me to get the weight that I need for it to feel like it's working where it's supposed to work, it feels really scary to have a barbell on you and then lean forward. So I was doing those at 30, but I don't know, I'm just really worried about hurting my back. So I think I am going to swap them out going forward for a leg press, but that's what I've been doing for the last 15 days anyway. Then I go and do some hip thrusts, some sumo squats, again using the steps, so there's a bit of a deficit there. And then I do some hamstring curls on the machine. So that's my 3 lower bodies. I am trying to increase the volume every time. So whether that's adding more weight or adding more reps, I'm just trying to make sure that I've hit more weight lifted overall for each movement than the previous time I did that exercise, if that makes sense. Because we're looking for progressive overload. I'm trying to build my muscles. And my glutes specifically are really weak. I've injured my hip a couple of years ago after I did a half marathon. Got a PB, got a really good half marathon time for me, but really hurt my hip flexor. So I went to a physio. They said, oh, it's because your glutes are weak and your hamstrings are weak, so I've not got that support in my hip. So I am just trying to build those so I can get back into running a bit more, not seriously, because I'm not a serious runner, a bit more frequently over the summer. Moving on to my upper body workout. So I do the same one. This is all I do in terms of upper body, but I do it more often. So rather than changing it like I do with the lower body, this is my upper body session every time I do upper body. So I do a lat pull down, a seated cable row, a bench press or chest press, depending on if the machine's free in the gym or if there's a bench free. But I do it with dumbbells. I'm not doing it with a barbell at the minute because I feel like I can get more of a stretch with a dumbbell than I can a barbell, so I get a better range of motion. I do a military press with the barbell, so that's just like a shoulder press, but without using your knees, so without bouncing it up. It's harder than it looks. And then I do some bicep curls as well. Again, trying to increase the volume on those every time I do them. The other workouts I have been doing, I've done 3 runs in the last 15 days. So I was just doing 1 weekly run with my run club. So we'll do 5-ish K, but by the time you've added in the warm up and the cool down, it does kind of round up to 45 minutes. But last week I decided to add in a separate run where I just go out on my own and just run for the full 45 minutes. So this week I think I did 4 miles. I am training for a 10K. I've entered a local 10K and it's the day before 75 hard finishes. So I did think I need to start increasing my mileage and getting more runs in. So that's what I'm doing there. 3 runs in the last 15 days. My aim is to do at least 2 a week up until that 10K. Some days I do a double walk day. So if I'm feeling like my body needs a bit of a rest or I'm short on time or I'm having one of those days where I need a little bit more fresh air, I'll do a double walk day and some days I do yoga. So I've had 2 double walk days during this period and 1 day where I've done yoga. I do have a Strava challenge running. So you on Strava, if you pay for it, you can add like goals for your year. So I've set some goals up to do 365 hours of activity in the year, set an overall one, and then I've got a walking one and a running one. So to walk this year, I put 800 miles in a year, and my running one I've set at 250 just because I am coming back off an injury, so I don't want to like try and increase my mileage loads for the sake of a challenge and then hurt myself. But if I can do 250, I'll be happy with that. So the double walk days do help with keeping that on track, because if you get behind with it, you're going to be playing catch up, and I don't want to be playing catch up in January because then I'm never going to hit it. So on one of the days we did do, I don't just always walk for 45 minutes. So one day we did do, I think I mentioned it before actually, we did a 5-mile walk. So that's obviously increasing that, but it's more time out walking as well, which is obviously good. I do like a long walk on a weekend, a bit of a drive and a long walk. The only thing that's missing is a pub lunch and a pint, but I can wait till the summer for that. Then we can sit outside. Moving on to the next rule of 75 hard, you have to read 10 pages of a non-fiction / self-improvement book. So I have just finished Let Me by Mel Robbins. This is the first book I finished during 75 hard. So I saw someone recommend it on a video. The dog has already chewed it. The Dip. So this is a really good book, but I didn't realise how short it was. So very soon I'm going to have to buy a new one of these. Let's just see how many pages it is. 76 pages, so this isn't even going to last us 8 days. So I need to go on Amazon and find a new one because I am over halfway. If you do have any book recommendations, I've obviously read Atomic Habits and a few other of the popular ones, but any self-improvement books that you think would be good, let me know. And then another rule is a gallon of water. So a gallon of water is 3.8 of these bottles. So yeah. Water's not the hardest bit of this challenge. It depends on how you tackle it. Water could be the hardest part if you don't start early enough in the day. But thankfully I've been okay with that for the whole of this so far. So the first 2 times I did 75 hard, I was up through the night using the toilet all the time. But that hasn't happened yet for this one. So I'm 30 days in and I haven't had to get up once in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. So I'm taking that as a win. But yeah, so this is a litre bottle. So I fill it up 3 times and then I do a little 800ml one. I am still usually drinking it at about 9 o'clock at night, but at least I'm not chugging it before bed, so that's good. And then the final rule is no alcohol. I don't find this one hard. It's short term, and usually this time of year, like January to March, I generally don't have much in the diary. So it's a good time to really knuckle down, and there's no birthdays or anything. Everyone that I know's birthdays are in the later part of the year, so it's, yeah, really easy. I don't even really think about it, to be honest. So there we have it. That has been day 16 to day 30, 75 hard. I will be back with another 15-day update, and by then I'll be over halfway through, so that's exciting. The thing is with it, once I get into the routine of this, I think, oh, I could sustain this forever. And then once it finishes, I'll fall off and I'll find it really hard to get back onto anything again. And I really want to try and avoid that. So I am going to try and think of some kind of goals to keep us going for the rest of the year. I suppose those Strava goals will help. But yeah, really settled into it. And I'm really productive in other areas of my life when I do have a structured routine like this, so that's really good. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in any kind of self-improvement content, so I am doing 75 hard. I'm trying to improve my financial well-being as well as my physical and mental health. So if you are interested in that, please subscribe. Please do comment below with any book recommendations that you have, because I'm going to need probably another 3 or 4 before the end of this, depending on how long we are. Hopefully not any 80-page books, please, like longer ones if possible. That's it for this one. I'll see you next time. Bye.